Alright, so a little bit of pre-summer boating maintenance here. As some of you may know, I've just had the new F130 fitted in the last few months. So it's about time I fix up a few other things on the boat as well. I've just decided to have a good check over the wiring, fit some new LED lights, anchor light, port and starboard lights, etc. Check the wiring to the bilge pump, all that sort of stuff. And I've noticed underneath my dash, it's an absolute nightmare. This is stuff that I've obviously bought the boat with years ago and never done anything with. Just a cluster of wires. I've done a few things in there. I've put a new UHF, Jeep EPIRB in there as well. Little bits and pieces, but I mean, there's absolute garbage in there. So what I can tell is the engine loom is separate, so it's just drawing power from one of the batteries and then linked to the second, so with a battery switch. So I can pretty much wire all the accessories fairly risk-free, I would say. So I'm going to give that a shot, keep posted along the way. So all these wires have just been twisted and taped together, and it's automotive wire as well. One thing that I've learnt about this just recently is a lot of the wire that you use in marine application is obviously tinned wire to reduce corrosion. This is also not a marine switch panel as well, so the first thing I did is testing the switches. There you go, there's a buggered switch there. You know, so I'm not taking that chance out on the water, so I'm going to fix everything up properly, start fresh. And I was going to patch it up, but yeah, I'm going to rip it all out, start fresh. Alright, so here's a good one. So this green cable here, that just seems to run throughout everything, and I'm like, been looking for the end of it. It seems to be tied into a lot of stuff, but then it runs all the way down here, down through the bottom, and right down the side of the boat's loom. Now I reckon that's not attached to anything. All the way. Alright, now there's no other electrical, there's only a stern light here, and I've got two cables going in. So there you go. That's typically what we're getting. So that's another big chunk of cable that we can pull out. Fun times. I have got mystery switches everywhere like that. Just who knows what that's doing. That's another one that's just going to nowhere, and they're all switched too, so they can become live. It's only 12 volts obviously, so it's not going to hurt anything, but you know, it can create an ignition source, so we don't want that. That, I'm guessing that is some kind of fuse box, but wouldn't have a clue. Everything I've found so far has not had any solder or connectors. Oh, there's one randomly. It's all been twisted together and taped, which is definitely no good. So it's just a matter of determining what's what. I am labeling everything as I go though. So anchor light there, I know that's a new cable I've run through, and I've got my other cables that I've run through new here as well. So I've got GPS or sounder, other lights as well, so we're on the way. Hey, I've got an observer as well. You're a good boy. Okay. Everything got a bit wild there for a minute, but back to fresh, and we've got, by the looks of it, one power wire coming out of our battery switch, which is great. And then the rest of my cabling over here, I have UHF radio, power down to the bilge, the stern light, and that's an earth lead, I would say, from the battery, because there's only one connection to the battery, and that's got a joint in it as well, so we're going to get rid of that. Looking all right, so we can start fresh again. That took maybe 10 minutes, and I'm definitely no expert when it comes to wiring, but I'm having a go. All right, so I'm just joining up these port and starboard lights now, nav lights, and I'm using these little waterproof connectors. Bought a box of these on Amazon for 20 bucks, 200 pieces of them, various different sizes. And they're a little melt together connector, so you crimp them in the centers where you can see I've crimped them, and then just use a heat gun, and it creates a waterproof connection by melting the plastic around the wire. Really effective. First time I've had a go at them. As I say, I'm not very experienced with wiring, and then you can tuck it away, and I will be putting a little grommet in there as well, so the wire doesn't get damaged by the edge of the aluminium tubing there. Alright, so I'm just about finished in here now. I just need to get myself a switch panel. So I've managed to get myself left over with all the things that I need to terminate. So I've got my UHF, which actually just plugs straight into my output there. So that's one thing to tidy up. I've got my nav lights. Now I haven't clipped this one in half because I want to pull it from either direction a little bit to make sure it fits to the switch panel so I don't waste any cable or end up too short. Then I've got my GPS and fish finder, anchor light, and bilge pump. So that's it. That's my accessories at the moment. So I'll probably get an 8-panel switch, mount it here somewhere. Waterproof 8-panel switch rather than having to get under here, which I was doing last time or previously. I'll terminate everything off to that switch panel. So stay tuned for part 2.